Everyone that's been following my weekly reviews of Golden Time should know how much I've cared for Golden Time, the series, from start to finish. I've really enjoyed it all around. Now, I'm going to tell you this is going to be my final conclusive thoughts on the entire series, how I felt about it, and truthfully, should I recommend this series to other people. So, before I get into that, I want to talk about this episode. This episode had a lot of moments to where I was asking myself, what the hell is going on? Now, remember, this is all in my opinion, so what I'm about to state, if you disagree, please let me know in the comments. So anyways, let's continue on. Okay, so we had a section in this episode where Ghost Banri pops back up again. If we remember a couple episodes back, I think it was episode 18 or 17, we see Ghost Banri fall into a river and disappear, and we don't see him again until this episode. Well, when we see him appear, he appears out of nowhere, literally randomly. We see Banri having, looks like a freaking acid trip to where the bridge starts, warping all weirdly, and we see all, the past, present stuff of himself, of what he's forgotten, and he runs through him and eventually sees the Ghost Banri. And so he starts talking to Ghost Banri acts like, oh, you can talk to me now, you can see me now, and they start having this weird conversation. Just this entire scene... This scene right here, I think, drugged down this episode for me. I'm not going to say this episode was bad. I'm not going to say this anime is crap now. I'm not. But this entire section right here was just really awkward and out of place, and it felt like, I guess, an ass pull. I'm just going to be honest here, okay? I'm sorry if this disagrees with your opinion. So let's get on to the fact of why I didn't like this scene. For one thing, we've saw Ghost Banri since the beginning almost, and we've always emphasized that maybe he's a supernatural element, or maybe he's the subconsciousness of our real main Banri. Well, we find out that this is actual supernatural elements in the series with this episode, and supposedly Ghost Banri that disappeared was seen by Linda somehow. I don't understand exactly how Linda came out of nowhere, saw the Ghost Banri, and says yes to everything, and starts hugging him and all that. Ghost Banri, remember this, Ghost Banri says yes to all your answers, yes to Coco, yes to me, all that type of stuff. So this scene, what it really done, honestly, was just try to, I guess, make the Linda Banri fans happy. That's exactly what the scene emphasized, and that's exactly what I think this was actually animated for. Now, if I am correct, Golden Time technically is not following the light novels at this moment because it actually went past the light novels and is doing its own story. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But anyways, continuing on, this entire scene just felt very out of place and weird just because of the way it was done. Because I don't understand how Linda could see Ghost Banri, because now it's proven that there was supernatural elements, because Ghost Banri hands our present Banri the ring that he lost in the water, and supposedly the Ghost Banri gives him the ring. And then we see at the end of the episode that he finds the ring in his pocket and he hands it to Coco. So right here, this entire section, I don't really know how to take it. I did not like the section. I really didn't. I mean, so let's move on to the other point. The part about Banri losing his memories. So he forgot his memories last episode, which is very sad. All of us were coming to major conclusions and different stuff with tragedies and unhappy endings, like a school days ending, something like that. I'm not going to say me expecting a tragedy ending drew my entire, I guess, appreciation of this episode down. It wasn't that. My expectations weren't as high to pretty much drag the series down just because it didn't have a tragedy. I'm not like that. But I felt like this ending was way too happy-go-lucky, and it felt like everything was just wrapped around the main character, just with all sorts of coincidences that happened right. For instance, him gaining back his memory, okay? This entire scene right here just doesn't really fit well with me. Okay, he got his memories back. I'm happy with that. I'm happy Banri remembers. I'm happy he got with Coco. We actually had a conclusive romance relationship, which is fine by me. But the way he gets his memories back, looking at a mirror, it seems logical, yes. But they never go into detail exactly what was wrong with Banri. I mean, yes, there's supernatural elements now, but they don't really go into details what was wrong with Banri. I mean, how was he going back and forth from remembering to forgetting to remembering again? I just don't understand it. That honestly, in my logical conclusion, that's like some form of brain problem, just because the way we get to see Banri have an acid trip. I don't know. Something's very off about this ending, that it just feels like it was way too happy, and it felt like just trying to liven up the entire series way too much. So, let's get on to the factors I really did enjoy this episode. Besides, putting it down and saying that the ending was bad, which I'm not saying the ending was bad, I'm just saying certain elements that led up to that ending just did not sit right with me. So, the entire section of how Coco managed to get to Banri's house in the first place. This scene was freaking hilarious, because we find out that Tootie was the one that got into Banri's email account, found his password out, found his address, and started spamming freaking Coco with emails trying to act like he was Banri. This scene was fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna joke. This was a very funny scene. The way you get to see Coco and 2D actually butt heads at the end, that explained a lot how Coco managed to find him and exactly how much 2D really cared scared for Banri. So I felt like this scene was really good. It uplifted the feels. This type of actual comedy and happiness felt legit in the series. This felt like more of a real thing that could possibly happen. So I agree with the overall comedy and heart-touching feels what 2D tried to do with Coco. And really, I think they should have went more onto those type of facts instead of going into the supernatural path. I know they were probably trying to explain the entire reasoning behind Ghost Banri, but they should have added as some form of subconsciousness to the present Banri. So back on topic what I was talking about. So that scene was really funny, and I enjoyed it a lot. So in the conclusion of the series, we find out that Coco and Banri pretty much get married. You know, Banri gives the ring to Coco, Coco's happy, and then we can pretty much emphasize that they got together and married in the future. We get to see that Linda was blushing to Yana, so pretty much it's confirmed that Yana and Linda get together. The way we get to see Linda blush towards him, she's starting to grow feelings towards him, so most likely these two characters get together. Now let's talk about 2D and Oka. These two characters felt like they just got shafted in this series. I felt like they just didn't get nothing, honestly. I mean, yes, they were great friends to Banri and Coco and everybody else in the series, but I feel like they got the least out of anything in the series. They were such great characters, great side characters that really helped the story progress, but nothing really happened with them. I mean, 2D's still alone. He doesn't have a girlfriend, and yes, he's a big friend to the entire group, but he's alone. And then we got Chinami, Oka, that is just by herself too. She loves Yana, she still feels sad about it, but she has no one else. I thought at the very least we would get to see 2D and Oka get together, or maybe Yana and Oka get together, I don't know. But I felt like these two characters really got shafted. They should have been with someone at the entire end of the series because they were really enjoyable characters to watch. All the characters I really liked besides Yana and that certain phase he had in Ghost Banri. So really, I'm kind of upset with that. Those two characters really didn't get a conclusive ending. So I don't know if the light novels, like I said, go past this point, if they're even at this point, or if there's some form of confirmation of how these two characters develop later on. But I was really disappointed in that one. The animation overall in this episode, I enjoyed. I loved the up-close personal shots of the faces, the way you get to see the animation. It was really shiny, beautiful, and it looked like really great quality for Golden Time. I liked the music. The music was well on track with all the scenes. I felt like the ending song was well placed with the entire scenes, what was going on. It's just pretty much telling the, epilogue of what is happening in the series, the ending. So, my final conclusive thoughts on this series. I recommend watching it if you're into a mature romance that actually doesn't thrive off of drama. There is some drama elements, but it's not a type of series that you want to go looking for drama. There's only drama right at the end, and I feel like Golden Time did a really good job of this. It did a good job handling its drama, its character progression, character development, and all around, everything was likable about the series. There's a lot of questions that are left unanswered, though, at the end of the series, especially with, the brain trauma, I'm guessing, with Banri and the entire relationship status of whoever's with who, but I felt like the series in a whole is an enjoyable watch, and I do recommend watching Golden Time if you haven't started yet and you're still listening to this review. But I probably just spoiled everything, so I'm sorry if you haven't actually watched the series yet. But anyways, I'm going to tell you, Golden Time has been a very good series. I really do recommend it, and really, I'm going to say the ending wasn't overall bad. It left me wanting more. It left me feeling like I think it should have been a little bit more darker. Just a little bit more darker. Not just, so up and bright at the end. But really, I've enjoyed the run. I would have never started Golden Time if it wasn't for the community recommending it to me a long time ago. So everybody that recommended me Golden Time, I want to say thank you so much. I've enjoyed this watch. Even though the ending was a letdown a little bit, I felt like this series was really fun to watch, and I've enjoyed every week. Even this episode, I enjoyed watching. So everybody, hopefully you all enjoyed this last anime review of Golden Time. Tell me your thoughts on the series. Was your entire opinions the same as mine? And everybody, please stay golden. Chibi out.